It began not in a palace, but in silence. Not under the gaze of kings, but beneath the stars. The world was weary and aching for hope, longing for light, and in the darkest of nights, that light was born. Centuries had passed. Prophets had once spoken of a savior, a Messiah who would come, not to conquer, but to redeem. But then, silence. For 400 years, heaven had not spoken. The skies were quiet, and the people kept waiting. They lived under the shadow of the Roman Empire. Soldiers filled the streets. Taxes drained the poor. Hope flickered like a dying flame. And yet, deep in their hearts, some still believed. In a small, quiet town called Nazareth lived a young woman named Mary. She was a humble girl engaged to a carpenter named Joseph. But her heart was full of faith. And then an angel appeared with the impossible news that she would carry the Son of God. Mary was a bit confused, but she trusted God's plan. Joseph was initially troubled by this news, but an angel appeared to him in a dream and confirmed everything, telling him to go ahead and marry Mary. Far above thrones and empires, the story of eternity began to unfold in the womb of a servant. But every story of light must face darkness. In Jerusalem sat a ruler named Herod, king in name but tyrant in truth. He ruled with fear, gripping power with bloodied hands. And when whispers of a newborn king of the Jews reached his throne, he was not curious. He was terrified and threatened by the news of the newborn king. The news came not from soldiers, but from the stars. Far in the east, wise men scholars who studied the heavens saw a strange new light, a star that seemed to sing with meaning, and they followed it. Through deserts and kingdoms, they traveled with gifts in hand gold for a king, frankincense for a priest, and myrrh, a burial spice, a haunting symbol of what this child would one day endure. When they arrived in Jerusalem, they asked, "Where is the child born King of the Jews?" Herod heard, and rage filled his heart. He wore a crown but feared a cradle. He summoned the scholars, demanded details, and plotted destruction. But he smiled and lied to the wise men. "Go, find the child, that I may worship him too." But heaven would not let darkness triumph. The star led the wise men to Bethlehem, a quiet village, too small to be noticed, too humble for royalty. And there they found him, not in a palace, but in a stable, not wrapped in silk, but in cloth, not resting in gold, but in a feeding trough. And still they placed their treasures before him, because in that child they saw the King of all kings. And so, the story that began before time continued with the first cry of the newborn king. Heaven touched earth, light pierced the dark, and nothing would ever be the same. In a world still waiting for peace, still aching for light, the birth of Jesus reminds us that hope doesn't come from power or fame. It comes quietly, sometimes in the most unexpected places. You don't need a throne to be chosen. You don't need to be perfect to carry purpose. And even when the world feels silent, God is still writing the story. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs light today. And remember, sometimes the greatest miracles are born in the humblest places.